Baba is underlining today what service Baba does for us. And you see, in bhakti, we think that Baba gives us solutions, Baba gives us temporary relief from problems, solves our issues. Yes, that is what we think God does in bhakti. Or Baba saves us from illness and untimely death and stuff. But Baba says, I don't do all of that. What I do is, I do the service of changing you from shells to diamonds. I make you valuable. And you see, if the soul is powerful, then the law of attraction works. And then everything else follows. So Baba says, I do not work on what you have. I do not change that. I change who you are. And that too, I don't do it. I give you the method to do it. And the method is remember me. Because only through remembrance our sins get burnt. And I remember there was this one Mata, and she was having some anxiety, and she came to the center. I was giving her the course. And then on the second day she asked, until how many days I have to come to get cured? So if I come for how many days I will be free from anxiety? So I told her, it doesn't matter how many days you come, what matters is what you do. Because until 2 days she had only been taught the practice of soul consciousness. She had not been given the introduction of Baba. So I told her, have you practiced? So I make you practice here, right? So do you go home and practice this? So she said, no. So I said, then how will you do well? So then she said, but I'm listening to all this stuff. I said, okay, you're listening, that's good. But then you're thinking about that same stuff which is giving you anxiety. And she said, no, but I don't think that's what, I don't understand where's this anxiety coming from. So I said, whether you are aware or unaware, you see, most of our thoughts, they are so unconsciously going on, yes? So the only method to overcome those is conscious thinking. And Baba says that when you remember me, it's a very conscious activity. So you consider yourself to be a soul and remember me. And you see, all our sanskars are basically created by, the seed is the thought that we create. Yes, the seed of sanskar is thought. And most of the thoughts that are going on inside, we are not even aware. But those thoughts are creating all the sanskars, because sanskar is created by whatever you do repeatedly. And your thought is the basis of everything, your feelings, your attitude, your actions. And then you keep doing it repeatedly, and that's creating the sanskar. And when the sanskar is impure, then the sansar that we create for ourselves is also a byproduct of our sanskars. And Baba says all these sanskars, so when we say vikarm vinash, when we say our sins will be absolved, so all the sins we have committed, the acts of sin, by thinking, feeling, the attitude, the action, whatever we've been doing, those have created sanskars, and those sanskars are, the soul carries it within itself in the form of a burden of sin. And until those sanskars change, your sansar cannot change. Until who you are changes, your world cannot change. And you see, I often repeat this, and this is a very profound thing that I stick to, which is you cannot solve the problem with the same consciousness with which it is created. So if you are the same, your situations will be the same, your context will be the same. So Baba comes and Baba gives us the service, because you see, people think that we need temporary solutions, and they think that this situation should change, that situation should change. But do you understand that the situation is just a byproduct of who you are? It's just a mirror image or a reflection. So if you change a reflection, or if you change the mirror image, that's not helpful. Because when you are the same, you carry your reflection everywhere. And then, although one situation will change, you will attract another thing. And I remember there was this one Kumar, and he got 4 jobs. Can you imagine, in today's time in Bharat, getting 4 jobs one after the other, in an unreserved category? And he got 4 jobs one after the other, government jobs, and he left all of them one after the other. And he was not in Gyan, now he is in Gyan, but he had this attitude that there's something wrong in the environment, in other people. And then he was very talented, so ego also, that I can change this, I can get a new job, I can get a new one. So he kept studying, leaving one after the other. But finally, he's unemployed. And he told me that, Didi, I don't like to work in an environment which I don't like. So I told him, see, if you don't like 4 environments, then have you ever stopped and thought that the problem is with you? So he said, I never thought like that. So, it never occurred to him that there's a problem with his attitude. And you see, this is how people are living their lives. And Baba says that the first thing, that the service that I do for you is, just consider yourself to be a soul and remember Baba. Because when you remember Baba, then remembrance changes your sanskars. If you ask how fire burns everything, if you question the capacity of the fire, then you don't get anything, because you practically see that fire burns everything. So how you use that capacity of fire to your advantage is up to you. And yoga is like fire. So you see, people, when they understood that fire has the capacity to burn, they use that fire for cooking and stuff. And so Baba says this yoga is fire, and it has the capacity to burn your sins and change your sanskars. Now, how do you get a proof of it? By becoming a yogi. So, attending classes on the power of yoga doesn't help. It can motivate you, it can inspire you to have yoga, but whether your sins are burning or not is decided only by how much yoga you are having actually. So, yoga is a very different subject. Knowing the knowledge of yoga is not yoga. So, Baba says just make that effort, and Baba says this is the most potent, service that Baba does for us, and this is what changes us from shells to diamonds. And Baba says you also have to do this service for everyone. So, teach them, and everybody is today interested in learning meditation. I remember there was a friend of mine in school, and she and I think we stopped talking in school or something. And we didn't talk after school, of course, we didn't talk. And she was one of the few people I almost forgot. And then she reached out some days back, and I was very surprised that even then there was not too much love or something. And then I asked her, so it's very good to connect with you, but do you have something in mind? So she said, I want to learn meditation. So you see that everybody today wants to learn meditation, and everybody, whether they understand it or not is a different issue. They have various ideas about it, but people are interested in learning meditation. So Baba says, at least tell them how to consider themselves to be a soul and how to remember Baba. And if you tell them that, then they will be, and Baba opens the locks of the intellects. So if they keep doing that, even if they don't listen to the Murli or anything, if they just start with that also, Baba will open the locks on the intellect. So Baba says, give everyone this, do this service for everyone. Teach them how to detach from all the thoughts of the external world and take their mind to Baba and feel Baba's love, peace, purity. And if they do that, this changes their sanskar. And you see, and there was this one brother, and he just he was practicing stopping his thoughts. And he was just practicing that I don't want to think. And he said, I sat every day for 1 hour. And 1 hour every day, never missed. And in 7 years, he said, I have now become, for 1 hour I can just be free from thoughts. So I told him that, it's practice is such an important thing, that if you practice even something that is, not very easy to achieve, and Baba says it's not very useful also, because why stop thoughts? Thought is power, so why not use it to create something? So that's our path is different. But what I am underlining is the importance of practice. So for 7 years he practiced every day, so he could do that. So people are practicing to stop their breath, and they are able to do that. Yes, sannyasis are doing that, pranayam and all. They are they can just stop their breath and be in samadhi. They are doing that. So Baba says, you also have to practice this. And Baba says, this Raj Yoga, considering yourself to be a soul and remembering Baba, this is the practice that will change you from a shell to a diamond. Other practices won't. Those practices are not going to change you from a shell to a diamond or from a human to a deity. But you have to practice this. And the thing is, you have a very powerful tool and somebody has a very weak tool, but they are using it and I'm not using it. Then what is the, which tool is more powerful? That's the thing. So Baba says, Brahmin children have to remember Baba. That is the only method to change your sanskars, change from a shell to a diamond, and teach everybody how to consider themselves to be a soul and introduce them to Baba, what are his qualities, what is your relationship with Baba, and with that knowing, that deep knowing that he's my father, teacher, Satguru, he's my, he's the one giving me peace, love, joy. With that remembrance, they will recharge themselves. So Baba says, do this service. Then Baba gives us two directions today, most very important. First is Baba says, earn an imperishable income. Yes, so you see, in the world also, people attach a lot of importance to earning income. Yes, the perishable income. And if somebody is sitting idle, he will be told that you must go and work and earn. Yes, so income is important, but Baba says that the perishable income is not going to help you in the final moments. And in these times we have had experiences where the perishable income has not helped even in limited circumstances. Yes, for example, when there was demonetization in India, then people had money in the bank, but they couldn't use it for purposes which were long committed. So perishable income, and then when there was this episode of Kedarnath and there was so much tragedy there, then there were very wealthy people who were stuck there, but their wealth couldn't give them any solace. And so perishable income we attach so much importance to, but that income doesn't come to our rescue or doesn't come to make our life better whenever we want. And these days, there is one Mata and she was telling me that, Didi, I always feel that the banking system will fail after some time. And she was telling me that I always feel that at the end, people are keeping so much money in the banks, but that will not, she has been with the banking sector so for very long, and she was telling me that it's not going, all that money is just not going to help them in the end. And then I said, so what is the other solution? Keeping money at home, that's also not going to help. So you see, Baba has told us that, some money will turn into dust, that or the government will use it. So if there is an emergency, national emergency, then all your wealth will be used in that emergency. And then, there will be thieves and other stuff. So Baba has told, kinki dabi rahegi dhool mein, kinki raja khaye. So किनकी चोर लूट ले जाए, किनकी आग जलाए, सफल हो उसकी जो धनी के नाम लगाए. So Baba has given us this knowledge that all of this is going to happen. So Baba says now you shouldn't be very concerned about perishable income. You should be concerned about imperishable income. And you see, why is it important to understand perishable income versus imperishable income? Because the same resources are used to create perishable income, and those same resources are used to create imperishable income. So if you don't understand that earning imperishable income is your priority, then all your resources are going to the perishable income. Your time, thought, energy, everything, your money. Money is used to create money. So all of that is going to the earning of perishable income. So Baba says, first thing, how do you earn imperishable income? So it's only through service that you earn it, through seva. And Baba gives the example of Brahma Baba, that when he understood that Shiv Baba is giving imperishable income, then he wrapped up his business and he put everything into Baba's seva. And then Baba said that, somebody who is a giver, somebody who has a hand like this giving, they will always be full. They will come in the first phase. So if you look at the Srishti Chakra, then the first phase, Satyug, the hand of Satyug is like this, giving, and then after that it is like this, and then it is begging, and so it is the giver, and then it is begging, and then other stuff starts later. So Baba says the first is the giver hand. So Baba says that somebody who is a giver will always have their treasure full, and they will come in the first phase of Satyug. So Baba says that that is the way to earn an imperishable income. If you use all your resources to be a giver in this Sangam Yug, then you will earn an imperishable income. And Baba also gives the example of Karni Ghor. So you know that I don't know if that is happening these days or not, but earlier when somebody died, then all his belongings used to be given to the Brahmin. So there was a Brahmin known as Karni Ghor Brahmin. They are special kinds of Brahmins, and you give all the belongings of the dead to that Brahmin. These days, people have a lot of attachment. They even keep the belongings of the dead. But that was the practice. And Baba says that now it's the time of the end and we are all going to die. And Jagdish Bhai Sahab, before he left the body, he donated all his clothes and whatever he had to Kumars and to the Yajna, because he knew that if he left the body, then all of it, no Kumar would be able to wear it, or it won't be used in the Yajna. It will have to be donated outside the Yajna. So he gave everything to the Kumars of the Yajna so that it could be used before he left the body. So the Baba says, now you also have to understand that we are going to leave the body. So why not use everything in the Yajna? Because once we are dead, once we leave this body, we cannot use anything fruitfully in the seva of the Yajna. So Baba says this is the method to create an imperishable income. And Baba gives us the directions to open centers. And Baba says when you open centers, then those centers do a lot of seva. And one center, when it is open, so much seva is done in it. So Baba says, be the instrument to open centers and use your resources to create a center where seva can be done. And this is the method to create an imperishable income. And when we create an imperishable income, then that income will support us in our final moments. First thing, it will support us in our final moments. And then it will also create an account which will give us happiness and peace in a world of happiness. So Baba gives us this direction that please, children, pay attention to creating imperishable income. And then second thing Baba says is, Brahmin children don't take loans. Yes. So you see, Baba gives directions about everything, and Baba gives very clear directions about Brahmin children not taking loans. And I think, it's more about not taking loans from individuals. So never take loans from any individual, because that creates a very deep karmic account. So Baba says, I was just thinking, there was this one brother, and he once told me that I opened a company, and then at that time somebody invested 25,000 rupees in that company. I had nothing. And then I gave him 50% of my company. Yes, so we became partners, because I didn't have the funds, I had the ideas, but he had the funds, so he gave me 25,000, and then he became partner in my company for 50-50. Now that company is like worth of millions of dollars. And he said, now he is the 50% partner. And he did nothing other than just giving that first 25,000. And I still have to, every month I give him 50% of the income of the company. So just think about, this karmic account. And Baba says that in Sangam Yug, you are laying the foundation to become the king of kings for 21 births. And then somebody is giving you a loan. And what are you? You are the debtor, you are the indebted. Yes, so you who will be the king tomorrow is indebted to somebody who is not becoming pure and not doing any purusharth. And then what happens that for 21 births, there is a karmic account through which you will have to give him something, because you are indebted to that person. And Baba says, for what? For shells, for a little money that, today maybe you are short of some funds or some money, and then you take a loan from an individual, and the karmic account created is very huge, and you will have to repay for 21 births. And you see, that person has become your Raja through that little amount of money. And that's not okay. So Baba says, don't take loans. Brahmin children, they don't take loans from individuals. And if you have a loan from an individual, repay it. You shouldn't carry that account. And also, why Baba says don't take a loan, because you cannot guarantee that you will repay something. What if I leave the body today? Then how will I repay it? And then that loan stays. And then I have to, repay it for 21 births. because these are all unfinished karmic accounts. So the Baba gives us this deep understanding of the philosophy of karma created through, exchange of money with impure souls. And Baba says, don't engage in all of that. So that is also there. And then Baba today says that we children have to be in the family, look after our business, etc., but with the attitude of being a trustee. So Baba gives many directions in the Murli today, and Baba also asks us to note them down. And Baba says, live within everything but become a trustee and finish attachment with it. So when you're attached, so what's the difference between creating a new karmic account and settling a karmic account? So you see, whatever we have right now, all the relationships and the context that we are living in is a manifestation of past karmic account. But how do we know whether while operating in it, you are settling the karmic account or you are creating new karmic accounts? So the difference is in the attitude. So if you are doing everything as a trustee, you are settling the karmic account. And if you are doing everything with attachment, then instead of settling karmic accounts, you are creating new ones. Yes, and you see that Baba is telling us that you can't run away from your karmic accounts, of course, because in Sannyas Dharam they thought that you could run away from your karmic accounts, and that is why they decided to just leave everything and run away. But Baba has told us that if you run away from your karmic account, it runs after you. Yes, so it will chase you. In some or the other form, you will have to face it. Even if you run away from the family, can you run away from health issues? Can you run away from other problems? So, or even when sannyasis go to the jungle, do they live alone? They live in a toli. Say they live in a group. So you ran away from the wife, the children, but what about the other sannyasis around you? They will become the instrument for for your karmic accounts to come, and you presenting a situation where you have to face the karmic accounts. So Baba says, you cannot run away from your karmic account and settle it. But you cannot also settle it when you live in it and be attached. Because you see, many a times children think that Baba has told us, live with the family, do the work. So, I'm doing it on Srimad. But Srimad says, do it like a trustee. And how do you know whether you are a trustee or not? Yes. So, a trustee does the needful. A trustee never does anything extra. And a trustee will always balance lokik and alokik. So, when we are attached, then whatever you do is never enough. Yes, and there's a saying in India that when a cow can lick its calf so much, the cow keeps licking its calf to the point where the calf gets a wound. So that's the sign of attachment. So you could invest your everything in one relationship, and you will always feel it's not enough because there is attachment. And if you are not attached, if you're a trustee, you will have the sense of how much is the need here. So how much of my time, thought, energy, wealth, resources does this relationship, this work need? And when you give that much to it and the rest of it you do for seva, you maintain a fine balance between Lokik and Alokik. That's the sign of a trustee. So Baba says, I remember there was this, in the world, what are people doing? People are trained to believe that whatever they have, it has to only be spent on attachment. So, if there is a person and they have time, all their time, energy, money has to go to whom? Their children, their family. That's the worldly wisdom. But Baba says, no, all your resources are for seva. It's just that those are karmic settlements and you have to do the needful in that case so that it gets settled. You don't have to, pour everything into it. And the rest of it you have to use for your primary purpose, which is seva. And Baba says, this is the way to settle your karmic account by being free from attachment. So these are Baba's teachings today. Om Shanti.